What's up, y'all? This is Relly back with another video. Yes, and today we have to talk Cavs, but before we get into the topic at hand, I gotta thank y'all, man, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have hit 1,000 subs. Like, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for y'all joining the grind, helping my grind, I wouldn't have hit that mark. And I know the grind never stops, and I know y'all understand that too. So we're gonna keep hitting milestones, and I know what y'all, I'ma get there. But with all that being said, we got to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. We even got to talk about Kevin Porter Jr., as well as what we have to do when it comes to all these centers. Know a lot of Cleveland Cavaliers fans noticed that Kevin Porter Jr. was sitting on the bench tonight, right? And a lot of people might be asking, what's the big deal in that? The big deal in that is that we can infer that Kevin Porter Jr. is very, very close to making a return back on the court, right? And for us, that is very, very great news, right? Especially when we have limited news or details about what's happening and what's going on with Kevin Porter Jr. because we really want to see him on the floor, right? We're very excited. And for Cleveland, this might be the best circumstance he can potentially be in, especially this season when you have a good coach and JB Bickerstaff creating a new culture in defense and passing and making this talent really, really look good and looking like how they should be playing. You get what I'm saying? Gotta talk about the big situation, right? Because a lot of y'all been messaging me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube saying, hey, Relly, how do you feel about this? Do you think somebody's going to get traded? Do you think Drummond is going to be traded? Should it be Kevin Love? Do you think it's going to be JaVale McGee? And honestly, when you really look at it, at least for me, when I look at it, honestly, I think the person that's realistically going to be traded is going to be Andre Drummond, right? And a lot of people say, why is it going to be Andre Drummond? I feel like Andre Drummond, his contract, his situation, and how young he is and his durability makes him a lot more attractive and easier to trade than Kevin Love, right? Kevin Love, he's battling injuries. His contract is not very appealing. And as much as we want Kevin Love to be traded, it's going to be hard for it, right? We might be in a situation game by game where his contract is going to be just as hard to trade as Blake Griffin. Which means if it gets to that point, we might have to just suck up that contract and literally use him as a mentor, change his role, because a lot of people understand the young talent we have. We want to give them tick, and reasonably so, right? And I feel like Andre Drummond is going to be the odd man out because we got Jared Allen, who did not play tonight, and it's because they just trying to, let him practice a little bit more, let him, get tested first. Don't rush him on the floor, right? I can respect that, but for the Cleveland Cavaliers, when you got Jared Allen, who's potentially giving you the same production as Andre Drummond is younger, Kobe Altman is in a situation where he got to say, hey, do I pay Andre Drummond this big money? Or do I trade Drummond, get some assets, and just start Jared Allen because you have a young core, right? You got Colin Sexton, you got Garland, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Porter Jr., Dylan Windler, you get what I'm saying, and Jared Allen. You know what I'm saying? You got the pieces. Now you just got to pick and choose who do you want to develop. And I feel like if Andre Drummond is still on the team, I don't think Jared Allen truly develops because you can't start him alongside Drummond. That doesn't make sense. And you don't want Jared Allen on the bench. That doesn't make sense either. I would rather have JaVale McGee as a secondary center. And especially since JaVale McGee seems like he really, really wants to be here in Cleveland, which makes it that much better. And we got to talk about trade rumors because y'all been sending me all these trade rumors and asking me how do I feel about it, right? And I feel like this was the perfect time to really explain how I feel about it to all of y'all, right? And the first one was us, the Cleveland Cavaliers, trading Andre Drummond and Kevin Porter Jr. for Cody Zeller, Miles Bridges, Malik Monk, and one protected first-round pick, right? Now, this trade deal, I'm not a big fan of this, right? Because we're getting another center when we're already having a center problem, and we're getting Miles Bridges. That would be cool. He could play the 4, and Malik Monk, right? I've been saying time and time again, we need a shooter, but for Drummond and Kevin Porter Jr., I don't think this is the deal we're going to have to do. I don't think this is a realistic deal for us. I think we have to pass because honestly, even if we do this deal, we're going to end up having to waive another player. And I feel like right now the Cleveland Cavaliers is not in a situation to waive any more players because just let them play first. Let's see what they got. I feel like this roster honestly could be really, really good. We're really good defensively. And I just feel like we're just missing players like Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, who are our scorers. You get what I'm saying? Now, the second trade, right, was us just trading Andre Drummond to the Boston Celtics for Romeo Langford, Robert Williams III, the 22 first-round picks, and Marcus Smart, right? That one has a little bit more weight to it, right? I can see us doing this one because Marcus Smart, he fits the atmosphere, the culture we're creating with defense. The 2 first unprotected picks, those would be pretty good, even though they more than likely won't be great because Boston is going to be a good team. I mean, when you have potentially a big 4 of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and Andre Drummond, those picks are not going to be all that good, right? They're going to be high first-round picks. They're going to be like 20 to 30. You get what I'm saying? And Romeo Langford, he's another cool piece we can have. But I feel like the guards we have right now, I'm complete with, especially when you have Dylan Windler, who I believe is going to end up being slotted at the shooting guard himself, especially when he's fully healthy. And Kevin Porter Jr., who's potentially going to be slotted as a guard too. So it's like we're not in a position to get any other guards right now because we're trying to develop the guards we have currently, right? And Robert Williams, I like Robert Williams, but like I said before, we have the centers already. We got the centers, especially if we keep in JaVale McGee, who I think we should from a talent standpoint, from a mentor standpoint, from just a complete locker room presence standpoint. I think JaVale McGee truly is the right piece for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he just seems so genuine on how he feels about being here, right? I really like that. And I feel like we need more players like that. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just not all bought into either one of these trades because I just don't feel like they are smart, right? I understand anything we trade for Drummond would be a plus because we got Drummond for nothing. But we shouldn't be in a rush like Houston where we end up getting finesse and we could have gotten a lot more for a center who's been leading rebounds for the past 3 seasons. You get what I'm saying? Need some fire new gear? Well, Lone Wolfe Apparel got you with t-shirts, hoodies, hats, tech suits, and much more. If you want to shop at Lone Wolfe Apparel, the link for the website and the Instagram will be down in the description box below. And we gotta talk about this too. When the Cleveland Cavaliers completely get healthy, right? Because we had a lot of people that's day-to-day, out, whatever. But just they wasn't playing, right? When we get our team back, I'm telling y'all, the Cleveland Cavaliers is going to be dangerous, right? We're pretty good. No, it's not we're pretty good. We are good defensively, right? J.B. Bickerstaff has been working his butt off to make sure and establish that the Cleveland Cavaliers is recognized defensively, right? And Cleveland Cavaliers has been in situations because of their defense to potentially win games, right? And now all we have to do is figure out a consistent offense, right? And now, like I said before, we're missing pieces like Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Dylan Windler, Della Vadova, Kevin Love, you know what I'm saying? Kevin Porter Jr., right? We're missing out all these names. But once we get those back and truly see what our roster is truly about, we're going to be very, very dangerous, right? Now, yes, we have to look at different directions in terms of, trading some centers, right? Potentially getting some more shooters because, like I said before in other Cleveland videos, we need some shooters, right? Cedi Osman should not be your only three-point shooter because you're going to be in situations when Cedi Osman is not on. It's going to be very, very notable, right? And our defense has been saving us a lot of times, right? It's been making the games pretty close or close enough where the Cleveland Cavaliers can sneak up and win. But if you can match how good our defense is with some consistent shooting, right? Not saying it got to be every single night, but just let's say out of 5 games, you have 3 good nights out of 5, 3 out of 5. That would be pretty good for us, right? That would be legitimate and that would be fair and realistic, right? And we got to find those pieces and we got the talent in order to get those names, right? Like if you want to trade Andre Drummond to get some shooters, that's realistic and that makes sense, right? And I feel like it's just about that time, right? So down in the comments below, let me know how y'all feel about this, right? Do y'all feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers is heading in the right direction? Because honestly, I feel like this is the future of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And for more amazing content, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be a part of the grind. And with that being said, go.
Hey, motivated all about cash flow, ran it up and ran out of excuses. In the field and we turn into hoopers. For the clip like bonds we shoot. Just like some soldiers we trooping. Step back 3, we hooping. We in your house just like Fortnite.